President Trump held a Latinos for Trump roundtable in the Valley today. What he said in hopes of swinging this battleground state.
Plus, the top takeaway from Jill Biden's virtual campaign stop in our state last week.
And the concerns surrounding children's mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll take a look at the warning signs to look out for as they head back to school.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Dylan McKim.
And I'm Mackenzie Allen Charmley. Thank you for joining us.
President Donald Trump made a brief stop here in Phoenix today, hosting a roundtable discussion with Latinos for Trump. This morning, a new Arizona poll shows his numbers are dropping. According to OH Predictive Insights public opinion polls, the president's support has fallen to 42%, while Joe Biden is back up at the highest he's reached in Arizona. 52% of those polled support his bid for the White House. But Trump's stop today focused on how Latino voters could impact that. Cronkite News had crews inside the Arizona Grand Ballroom, but pulled them when many of the attendees were not wearing masks at the event. Dozens of people attended. The Latinos for Trump coalition says it has about 1,200 members, and the group's website says they are pro-God, pro-life, pro-family, pro-economy, education, and national security policies. The president spoke about several issues, including low unemployment rate for Hispanics before the pandemic. Let's hear what he had to say.
Over 600,000 Hispanic Americans were lifted out of poverty in that short period of time. That's a record. All records, Hispanic American ownership, home ownership reached an all-time high, and that includes Artie's home, okay? That includes the home.
Earlier this morning, Democratic Latino leaders from Arizona met for a Zoom roundtable to discuss President Trump's impact on their community. They discussed ongoing issues such as immigration policies and campaign rhetoric, as well as the ramifications for Latinos community caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Arizona State Senator Rebecca Rios explains what she has seen happen in her district since March.
The share of infections and hospitalizations among Latinos in Arizona is growing with every passing day. Despite this, Donald Trump has proven time and again that addressing the needs of the Latino community are simply not part of his agenda. Working people have been hit the hardest by Trump's economic meltdown, and it's falling hardest on Latino communities.
Former Majority and Minority Leader of the Arizona State Senate, Alfredo Gutierrez, also took part in the discussion. He says he'll do everything he can to get Joe Biden elected, while echoing his regret that, in his words, people within his community have chosen to stand with someone who has spewed such hate against them.
According to White House officials, Vice President Mike Pence will be making a visit to Phoenix on Friday. While here, Pence will participate in a Libre Initiative roundtable for Hispanic Heritage Month. He'll also take part in a Veterans for Trump event before returning to D.C. Exact times and locations of the events have not yet been released.
Last week, Dr. Jill Biden made a virtual campaign stop in Arizona for her husband, Joe. Alex Gall attended the event. He's in the broadcast center now with the top takeaways. Alex?
With the general election just 50 days away, Arizona has become a priority for both Republicans and Democrats. And last Thursday, Dr. Jill Biden became the latest political figure to speak directly to Arizonans.
Thanks to everyone here in Arizona.
Dr. Jill Biden participated in a roundtable with Arizona education officials and addressed concerns over reopening schools in the middle of a pandemic.
We know that there are going to be a lot of challenges, and that's especially true for those children who are most vulnerable during this time.
A former high school teacher herself, Biden stressed the importance of keeping schools open and fighting against inequality in education.
This crisis has shined a bright light on the systemic inequities in our education system. When Joe is president, he and Vice President Kamala Harris are going to make sure that we do all those things.
Biden's speech comes amid an ongoing debate on how to best reopen Arizona schools. While Democrats are open to the idea of remote schooling, Republicans say that Democrats are, quote, holding students, parents, and teachers hostage by delaying in-person instruction. Biden, though, rebuking that idea, saying support services are more important than ever during distance learning.
We're going to talk about access to technology, food insecurity, and mental health support. And I'm going to take all of that back to our campaign.
Despite the Biden campaign's insistence, President Trump's spokesperson says, quote, the president has delivered critical funding resources, guidelines that prioritize Arizona students and their in-person education. In the broadcast center, Alex Gall, Cronkite News.
The Democratic presidential ticket had another event for Arizona Latinos this past weekend. Vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris spoke virtually with Arizona Latino business owners. She laid out the Biden-Harris ticket's plans and their local endorsements in hopes of resonating with the state's Latino community. Coming up next on Cronkite News, many children are facing new challenges as they head back to school. The mental health struggles experts say all parents need to be aware of.
And with a couple of weeks left to fill out the census, Arizona isn't doing too great. We'll tell you where we rank for the completion rate and what you can do to make sure you get counted after the break.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Cronkite Noticias is the Spanish-speaking division of Cronkite News, covering topics such as economics, education, sustainability, immigration, and border relations. Cronkite Noticias strives to serve the Spanish-speaking community in Arizona. Under the guidance of prominent Spanish-speaking professionals, students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism develop content for our broadcast partner, Univision, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. Explore Cronkite Noticias at cronkitenoticias.azpbs.org.
For the past 8 months, we've been delighted to bring my show Amanpour to PBS. Now, I am thrilled with our new show, Amanpour & Company. I'm really looking forward to working with our incredibly talented contributors. Join us for Amanpour & Company.
Weeknights at midnight on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
This morning, Arizona health officials reported 213 new coronavirus cases and no new deaths. This is the second day this month and the 5th time since the start of August that the death count has not seen an increase. The total number of cases in our state is currently at nearly 209,000, with over 5,000 COVID-19 related deaths.
Since the beginning of the pandemic, Maria Oliot's 3 middle school children have turned to virtual learning.
You know, it has been a team effort and it has been difficult because all my kids are in different grades and they have different learning levels.
Oliot says her youngest child, Abel, who is in the 3rd grade, has had a difficult time adapting to the new norm.
And the other day, the teacher sent me an email saying that he fell asleep during class for 30 minutes.
The Arizona Department of Health Services requires schools to report COVID-19 outbreaks to their county health department. And according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, children may experience anxiety or fear as a result of worrying about themselves, their family, and their friends contracting coronavirus. Dr. Fundo Bacchini explains how guardians can approach children over these mental health concerns.
It's okay to have questions. It's okay to think it's weird. It's okay to be nervous. Whatever it is that you're feeling is okay. and we're here to help you.
Second grade teacher Dairani Blanco Flores understands the importance of staying connected with her students even through virtual learning.
A lot is doing check-ins with my students, whether that be, Ms. Blanco, I'm done. Okay, what did you do this weekend?
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, some warning signs demonstrate that a child might be having a difficult time. Unhealthy sleep habits, excessive sadness or worry, or worsening performance at school. Experts say when parents and caregivers deal with the COVID-19 pandemic calmly and confidently, they can provide the best support for their children.
Read stories. There's a number of books for little kids about COVID and what it is and what to do.
Health experts recommend allowing students to take breaks in between their lectures, allowing them to close their laptops and spend some time doing a physical activity. And for teachers like Dairani who prefer to spend time on the screen, she has found ways to be creative during virtual learning.
Where we get to dance, or we get to learn how to make something at home.
Despite the challenges that Maria has faced with her children through virtual learning, she makes time and keeps them active to help them relieve stress or other feelings of worry.
We play board games, and now that temperatures are going down, I go out with them to walk and other activities like hiking.
Health experts highlight that there's nothing more important than engagement, whether that's a parent speaking with their child and keeping them active, or a teacher allowing a safe space for students and communicating with parents. Karina Espinoza, Cronkite News.
The Arizona Department of Health Services developed materials for children and their families, including instructions on wearing masks, washing hands, physical distancing, and understanding COVID-19 symptoms.
With only a few weeks left before the 2020 census deadline, Arizona has the 6th worst response rate in the nation, according to the Census Bureau. About 83% of Arizona households have responded to the census so far. That's lower than the national average of 90%. Those who haven't responded can expect a U.S. Census Bureau worker to knock on their door soon. You can also respond to the census in 3 ways: by phone, online, or by mail. Part of the problem is the coronavirus pandemic pushed back the start time for census workers to do in-person follow-ups. Idaho has the best response rate in the country, with about 99% of the population responding. Meanwhile, Alabama has the worst rate, followed by Georgia. But there's still time to catch up for Arizona. The last day to respond to the census is September 30th.
Up next, wildfires are continuing to spread across California. Find out what fire crews in Arizona are doing to help battle the blazes.
Millions of people die every year from drinking dirty water. I would never have felt I had the ability to do something without ASU pushing me. We built filtration systems out of local materials with the people. To see those kids drink clean water for the first time, it's the most rewarding feeling that you can ever have. I went to ASU because I wanted to change the world. The thing I never would have expected is how the world would have changed me.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. Thanks to PBS Passport, you can watch all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today.
Alisa Adams, executive producer. I was lucky enough to come up through journalism where 2 generations of women at least had come before me. I learned a lot of things from them. I saw how they navigated a world where we weren't always equal to men. My message to young women is find your inner warrior. You are stronger than you think. There is a community of women who will support you and help you along the way.
Stay in the know on the go. At Cronkite News, we work hard to report the facts and keep you updated, whether we're on set or on the scene.
Taking it from the studio to the field. So I'm here in South Phoenix.
In Phoenix, we're just a click away. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community? The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
As wildfires continue to spread across California, Oregon, and Washington, Arizona is stepping up to help. The Arizona National Guard and the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management, along with local and federal response teams, are deploying crews to fight the flames. Coconino National Forest officials say the Mormon Lake hotshots are currently working in the Bobcat fire in Monrovia Park Canyon. The Flagstaff hotshots are currently working on the Creek Fire, which is burning northeast of Fresno. And the Blue Ridge hotshots are awaiting a new assignment to help the West Coast get control of wildfires that have been raging for weeks.
That's it for Cronkite News at 5:30. For Arizona news updates throughout the day, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.